Okay, so today I'm going to show you guys how I just do a basic natural soft glam beat on myself. So I start off priming my face. There's a bunch of different primers you can use. These are the ones that I like. One size, of course, if you've watched any of my videos, you've seen me talk about them a lot. Also, I like the Urban Decay All Nighter, and I'm hooked on the Derma Blend. This is the Insta Grip Jelly. So any of these primers, you're good to go. So I let the primer sit a little bit. So now for my foundation, I'm using the Juvia's Place foundation. So yeah, I put some on here. I take a little brush. I dab it in, you know, kind of spread it around that way. It's not just in one spot on the brush. And then this is how I apply my foundation to my face. It's full coverage, so I did not have to do any color correcting. And you see like where I start, that way I know to take it down as well as to bring it up, because you don't want to just stop it right here and then it looks like you're wearing a mask. You want to bring your makeup down. Okay, the foundation I put all over except for under my eyes. It's probably hard to tell because this foundation really looks like my skin. I'm hyped. So now I'm going in with my concealer. I don't like to apply my concealer with the wand, mainly because I use this on other clients. So you guys will see me use this a lot. It's the most sanitary way. So my chin, under my eye. Now this is how I like to do my concealer. I know some people just do here in the end. Whatever works for you, do what works for you. This is how I do my forehead. And then I do my nose as well. Last but not least, I didn't do this in any type of order either. Above my lip. And I use two brushes when I'm blending this out. So I'm going to still use this brush because it has some of my foundation. So I feel like it helps it blend better. And I'm going to use a small one for like here, my nose, my lip. And I want to turn this way so you can see how I'm moving the brush. I'm literally like taking it off my face and back on my face. We're blending it in. When I'm not swirling, I'm not swiping. So now I take this big one. I'm going to do my forehead. Now this part, I do have a certain order. I like to do under the eyes last because I really want the coverage of that concealer. So I let it sit under my eyes a little longer. Okay, the big brush I like to use for the outer part. Like I said, I just feel like it blends it better because there's still some excess of the foundation. And it's just something about this brush that does it for me. Now the smaller brush. And I'm bringing it over onto my nose as well. And making sure I get it completely up under my eye. Okay, so this is it with my foundation and then my concealer. If you like it just like this, you can go ahead and set under your eyes, but I do like under my eyes a little bit lighter. So I'm going in with a slightly lighter concealer. And it dries super fast. So the brushes that I was using, they are Real Technique brushes. I know that people say that there are dupes on Shein, but I've tried those dupes and they're not the same. In the outer part, I'm going to use the brush. And then the inner corner, I'm going to go in with my sponge. So, like this. Stretch that face. Oh, mess. See, because this still has some of our other concealer on it. So, this is going to blend it nicely right there. And I'm going to take my sponge so I can get really up in that corner. Okay, now I am setting everywhere I put concealer. So all the light spots under my eyes. And I'm using the One Size Sweet Honey powder. You can use, some people use the brush, some people use a sponge or the powder puff. I prefer the sponge. It works for me. Make sure you get in there. See, it still look a little wet. I need this thing dried and matte. Before you apply the powder, make sure that there's no creasing. Because we put powder on top of something that's creased, and that's just how it's going to be. So that same brush we used for our foundation. Yeah. And I'm like pushing it into my skin. I'm not like swiping it away because I put this on my face. I want it to be on my face. Go around the edges of where we put the powder so it doesn't look all crazy. No. All right, and now it is time to contour or bronze or whatever people are calling it these days. I don't know. This is how we get some dimension to our face, how we get some more warmth, some more color into our face. So I like to use the Morphe face palette on myself personally. It's gonna be crazy. This is the one I use, 8D. And I'm going in with this bad boy right here. That's my favorite one to use on myself. So I get an angled brush, tap off any excess, and we'll start shaping these cheeks, baby. So it's like, I want it to be a little bit more narrow here and then widen up as I go up here. So I'm fine if it comes up like close to my brows. Same on both sides. And then I don't really do the top of my head, but I will do like these corners right here. And then that same shade I'm going to use for my nose. Not everyone likes a nose contour, but me, I want it to look pinched. So I'm like stamping it. I stamp out where I want it, and then I'll blend it out. And then so when I blend it, like so I'm blending up, down, around, and then I want to lightly brush it down this way some. Okay. After my nose is done, I'm going in with blush. Choose any blush. You don't have to do blush. I love blush, so I always do blush. So this part is optional. This is just a light pink I'm using. A soft pink. Alright, so all of my powders and stuff are on for the most part. So I'm going to spray myself with the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. This is not an end result type spray for me. This is like an in-between. I feel like it brings all my skin together. Okay, so I'm going to start my brows. I'm going to brush them in place. You don't have to use a little spoolie like this. If your pencil has one on the end, you can use that. I don't use it because I use this on other people, so I use a disposable. I'm going to start off lightly tracing the bottom of my brow. My brows are very thin, yet very wild. So you see I did the bottom. I didn't take it all the way to the front. This is, and then I'm going to do the top. I'm tracing the top. Sorry, I'm trying to look in the mirror. And now I'll go in and fill it in. Lightly. I'm just making random lines because that's exactly what my brows look like. Random lines. And then when I get to the front, those random lines are just going to go up and down. And now, same thing for the next brow. Okay, now that brows are done, I'm going in with this concealer brush that I got off of Shein. I think it was $1, and it works really good. And I'm going with the concealer right here. I'll show you where. Okay, see, I don't take it all the way to the front or all the way to the tail because that's where I'm going to apply the foundation. Yes, our foundation that we used. Like that. And then like that. That way it blends in with the makeup that we have out here and it doesn't interrupt or disturb anything that we did right here with our contour and all that. And I'm blending it. I start with the darker parts first, and then I blend the middle. That way we still have that highlight under our eye, but it's not crazy. I hate when I can see it out here. Okay, so before you apply your eyeshadow, make sure that your primer is completely dry down. If your primer is not dry all the way, you will have patches. It won't blend as much. Then you'll get some on the brush and that'll start to act funky. So I'm using the Chocolate Mini Palette by Juvia's. And this little brown shade right here is going to be like the main shade I use. And I'm going to just start patting it on and shaping how I want my shadow to look. Shaping it out like. Okay, so now that I have the shape of how I want it, I'm gonna start to bring that shadow down. You can get even a bigger brush and just go over the lid like this size. I love this brush from Morphe. This is the E13. And I'm just going over my lid with that brown. Again, for this part of eyeshadowing, I am patting the shadow in, and make sure that you are tapping off any excess because look, our face is done. What we don't need is any fallout onto our face. Okay, now that that's done, I'm going in with a slightly lighter brown right here. This is in the Zulu palette. And I'm just going to blend out the edges of this brown. And that's it. Now I'm going to put this over here. All right, and make sure when you are buffing out these edges, small circular motions, okay? Again, no swiping, no like that. Baby circles, okay? So now I'm using the Crown Case Nudes of the World. This is medium deep almond. And you see I did a, okay, the video stopped, but I did an eyelash. If you don't like lashes, you can do mascara. And then for the ends, I'm going to set my face. I'm trying out this setting spray. We're going to see how it works throughout the day because I've never tried it and I've been waiting to have a chance to use it. So, ooh, dry that down. Okay. And then this is my glam. I should probably do something to my hair.